Good morning. Good morning and welcome back to the One Celtic Fans View. There's absolutely terrible news this morning. It's breaking news. Breaking news after many, many years. I've been informed this morning that the Green Brigade are to disband. The Green Brigade are to disband. And let's look at the display from yesterday, which was a fantastic way to go out, I suppose, if you are one of the members of the Green Brigade. Don't give up our. Don't give up the dream. Don't give up the dream. Don't give up the dream. That was the message from the Celtic supporters behind the goals, and it's been said this morning that the Greece Brigade are to disband. Anyway, moving on from that, Chris Sutton calls out Chris Boyd over his comments about the Celtic decision for the penalty. Chris Boyd, you always know he's the clown on Scottish football, and Chris Boyd says, "Look, it was never a penalty; shouldn't have been awarded." But when you look at it, the guy kicks Kyogo in the back of the heel. If that's against them, if that's against his team, it's a penalty all day long. Liverpool had this disputed. Let me face it. Yesterday, the first half was terrible. Let's not paper over the cracks of the first half. The first half was terrible. I thought that even though Kuhn got man of the match, I thought when it came to it, his final ball in the final third was he's not a Jota, is he? He's not a Jota. I mean, if Jota gets into those positions and Kyogo's scoring, I mean, you've got to give it to the Livingston goalkeeper yesterday. You've got to give it to their keeper. He played fantastic, and he made two fantastic saves from Kyogo. But when you look at the way that Kuhn was getting into the edge of the box and just not getting that final ball, trying to take on too many people, not getting the pass right, I think that he could do better. Could do better. Will he turn into a Jota type player? Oh, you never know. You never know our luck in Scottish football. Anyway, when you look at the second half of the Celtic supporters did put out that banner and hold on to our title, boys. Don't let the dream go. Hold on to your dreams. I thought it was a fantastic banner myself, and I thought it was absolutely brilliant. Don't give up the dream. Don't give up the dream. What can we say? What can we say about them this morning? Anyway, John Kennedy took to Sky after the game, and once again, the media narrative with the Scottish media was all about the negative side of Celtic. We've got to produce as much negativity, and there was a journalist, a BBC journalist, who wanted to add to that negativity after the game. It's all about trying to make sure that Celtic get as many negative headlines. Obviously, this is the run-up, the week to the big game. Yesterday was the big game. You know, this weekend we play the Rangers, the Sevco, and the Celtic stand-in manager for the day was asked about the game in general and asked about the defence. Yeah. Can be difficult. And that pitch, and I've got to say, Chris Sutton had the morning about the pitch, and it should never be allowed in Scottish football. It held the ball up. You know, the ball wouldn't, it didn't flow properly. The football's a bit slower. It's a terrible, terrible pitch. And for that reason, and that reason alone, I'm glad that Livingston are getting put down. They are getting relegated there, but at the bottom of the league, there's no chance of them staying up. But I've got to say, I'm glad we're getting rid of that pitch because there's no need for it in top flight football. It's an absolute embarrassment in this day and age. It's one thing about John Kennedy. His old Dr. Joe Venglos for Celtic just now, the continuity, isn't he? That was a terminology that Dr. Joe Venglos used to say at Celtic when he was manager a long time ago. Tell me in the comments what year Dr. Joe was manager at Celtic. But yeah, Dr. Joe Venglos used to go on about continuity. And I think that's what a lot of people love him, a lot of people hate him, and people have said that John Kennedy could potentially be the next Celtic manager. But what it does do is it gives Celtic that continuity. Exactly. It's a 3-0 win. As far as I'm concerned, it was a penalty. If it was given anywhere else in the country, in Glasgow, it would have been a penalty all day long. But then the reporter decided to go on to the negative narrative that the media has been trying to portray against Celtic over the last couple of weeks. All round, it was very pleasing, and it's always good when you focus on the negatives. John Kennedy slapping down the media saying it's always good when you focus on the negatives, and that's something that we've been speaking about on this channel. It's all about Celtic keeping control of the narrative when it comes to the media, and then the media definitely like to portray a negative narrative when it comes to Celtic. And next up with the negative narrative, now I did say that the songbook yesterday would be absolutely glorious. It always is on an Easter Sunday, away games at Celtic. For Celtic, it's been the same for years, and it'll be the same for many, many years to come. Tom English, the top BBC pundit, yes, Tom English, who is a rugby man. He isn't a football man, but he is the top chief sports writer in the BBC Scotland. He's an author to No Grudge, Borders, When Lying. Fucking who cares? He's a rugby man. Why does this guy consistently get to talk about Scottish football? He's a rugby guy all day long. He commentates on rugby, but yet the BBC find it in their wisdom to give him a platform to spew his bile about football in Scotland. And when he came into Scottish football about 8 or 9 years ago, I think it was about 8 or 9 years ago now. I mean, everybody's like, who is this knob? Let's face it. And then he puts on to Twitter yesterday, he's like, Q, what about them? I know it's a very small percentage of overall Celtic support, but the percentage multiplies away from home. Score a goal and they celebrate about they bring out the songbook. They bring out the songbook, and it's always the same songbook on Easter Sunday. So get over it, Tom English. And I've told you before, the best fans at Celtic, the ones that spend the most money, are the ones that go to every single game, home and away. If you don't like it, switch the fucking telly off. You know, it's the Celtic support and the Green Brigade are absolutely fantastic as far as I am concerned. And the way support are the heart and soul of Celtic Football Club. And I'll say that all day long. I've been in the trenches for the best part of 25 years, going home and away, and knowing the guys that still go away, and the text messages were absolutely fantastic. The WhatsApp groups were brilliant last night. It was another fantastic away day. That's what makes Scottish football, is the away days. Okay, you can understand why some teams don't want to have a mini Parkhead. Not every team is going to give 3 stands to Celtic, you know. Give us the one stand behind the goal and then you fill the stand. It's not our fault. It's not Celtic's fault that other teams around Scotland cannot fill their grounds, is it? No. But they want to take the cash when Celtic come a-calling. Anyway, next up is Chris Sutton, and obviously he said that the one thing that's embarrassing about that 3-0 victory, yes, Chris Sutton brands it absolutely embarrassing, was the pitch. The pitch, he says, it's an embarrassment to top flight football, and I'm glad, absolutely glad, that we won't see it next season. We understand that Kilmarnock are changing their synthetic pitch next season, but when you look at that yesterday, it's an absolute monstrosity of a pitch. Absolute monstrosity. You know, it was just terrible to watch a game of football on that, and it's unbelievable. Unbelievable. Chris Sutton went on to Twitter to say a very comfortable win for Celtic in the end. Great news to see Hatate back for Cameron Carter-Vickers to seemingly come through 90 minutes unaffected. Livingston offered very little, and I'd be glad to never see that monstrosity of a pitch in the top flight again. It's an embarrassment, said Chris Sutton on Twitter. And that brings to the end of the news this morning. And if you thought that the Green Brigade were disbanding, you are so stupid. Anyway, happy April Fool's Day.